Worship, glory, hallelujah. Worship, glory, hallelujah. Worship, glory, hallelujah. Jesus Christ is marching on. I welcome you, the existing subscribers and new subscribers alike, to these concluding verses of the 1st Samuel chapter 4, verses 12 to 22. Welcome to Jesus for All. Today we'll be concluding on our reading of 1 Samuel chapter 4. We'll be reading from verses 12 to 22. The death of Eli. Before we commence this reading, I would like to encourage all those listening to share this video, share it to those you know, especially men whom you know are under domestic violence or are out of control, men with low characters, men you cannot trust around vulnerable or young women, because as we will read from this verses 12 to 22 of 1 Samuel chapter 4, we will find out that when men behave badly, especially when they behave without control, their actions are not only inappropriate but has consequences. The Lord perceived Hophni and Phinehas' inappropriate actions with laying with women as a contempt, blasphemous act, because as we read from our conclusion, God does not dwell where there are iniquities, especially when those whom He created with in His own likeness, in His own image. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, God said he made them male and female in his own image. In the image of God, he made them male and female. So, as God is spirit, both male and female have his spirit in likeness of him. And that is why it is a contempt to him when either party starts ill-treating each other, especially when men, as we have seen in this 1 Samuel chapter 4. In chapter 3, God revealed his displeasure about what Hophni and Phinehas were doing. And in chapter 2, he declared them worthless sons of Eli. So it is very important, please, that you share. And those of you who have not subscribe to this channel, like, and most importantly, evangelize it by sharing to those whom you feel are men behaving badly, men who have lost control, men who cannot be trusted around young girls, men who devalue their partners, their wives, men who beat and men who, without permission, without regard, interfere with females without permission, without consent. All this kind of treatment, sleeping around, being promiscuous with women, is a contempt. It is not how God intended creation. And also, please share so that some women who are in this category of disrespecting males in these inappropriate actions too get to go and read about what happened in 1 Samuel chapter 4 and from other videos we've released prior to this one, that it got so bad that God swore to Samuel about the house of Eli. In 1 Samuel chapter 4 verse 14, we were told, "Therefore I swear to the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be atoned for by sacrifice of offering forever." You cannot be behaving badly. Oh, I beg your pardon. That was in 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 14. Therefore, I swear to the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be atoned for by sacrifice or offering forever. There is still time before the end of today, or any time such person who is lost control can change, because Christ is on the way and is coming this time to judge. Those who have ears, let them hear what the Spirit is saying. The death of Eli. A man of Benjamin ran from the battle line and came to Shiloh the same day with his clothes torn and with death on his head. When he arrived, Eli was sitting on his seat by the road watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of God. And when the man came into the city and told the news, all the city cried out. When Eli heard the sound of the outcry, he said, "What is this uproar?" Then the man hurried and came and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were set so that he could not see. And the man said to Eli, "I am he who has come from the battle. I fled from the battle today." And he said, "How did it go, my son?" He who brought the news answered and said, "Israel has fled before the Philistines, and there has also been a great defeat among the people. Your two sons also, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of God has been captured." As soon as he mentioned the ark of God, Eli fell over backward from his seat by the side of the gate, and his neck was broken as he died. And he died. For the man was old and heavy. He had judged Israel for 40 years. Now his daughter-in-law, the wife of Phinehas, was pregnant, about to give birth. And when he heard the news that the ark of God was captured, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed and gave birth. For her pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the woman attending to her said to her, "Do not be afraid, for you have borne a son." But she did not answer or pay attention, and she named the child Ichabod, saying, "The glory has departed from Israel, because the ark of God had been captured, and because of her father-in-law and her husband." And she said, "The glory has departed from Israel, for the ark of God has been captured." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Please let us meet at the comment section. What lessons, if any, do you derive from what we have been reading from 1 Samuel chapter 1 to this point, end of chapter 4? And especially in this chapter 4, please give your comment. As we are of Christ, we are believers, we have the privilege of Christ's salvation. But in those days, God spoke with them direct. And in those days, God gave them warnings as well, as we have been reading in 1 Samuel chapter 3, from verse 11 to 14. God revealed what he was about to do in Israel. For me, my lesson from this reading is that I look back to 1 Samuel chapter 3, 11 to 14, and marvel at how great our God is, because he gave so much warnings, thinking Eli would call his sons to order, forsake them, put them away, so they will not have the opportunity or access to continuously dwell in iniquities and Eli, though he rebuked his sons, but it was too little too late. As God said in verse 14, in 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 14, therefore I swear to the house of Eli that the iniquities of Eli's house shall not be atoned for by sacrifice or offering forever. We cannot continue to sin. Even as believers, Christ told us, Apostle Paul told us that once you have Christ and you have been redeemed, you cannot continue to sin thinking grace will abide. So here is what God was saying. And he says he will not accept sacrifice or offering forever for the iniquities of Eli's house. And that is what happened here. He has now done what he said he would do in Israel, that every ear would tingle. And here we are, the Ark of Covenant being captured, Hophni and Phinehas dead, Eli dead, Phinehas' wife gave birth and died. So we must not treat anything concerning God and what he has created in his image for granted. We're told that Hophni and Phinehas were sleeping, laying with the woman. This was not only an iniquity to God, it was blasphemous, because these were people that came to the entrance of the tent. And here we are told that Phinehas was even married, his wife was expecting. So everything that they were doing was abominable, was contempt to the things of God. In any way or anyhow one can dissect this, it is absolutely wrong. And so I pray that those who are still doing this, treating fellow human beings anyhow, they are doing it unto the Lord. Because in Genesis 1:27, God made it known that he had created male and female in its image. So when you mess around as a man, and in this case, a married man, sleeping around with young women, not only was it abominable to God, it was abominable to the Spirit of God, because such was it that God said his Spirit is in both male and female. And Jesus tells us further as believers that we love one another. And because when we love one another, we will not do evil to one another. You will not be married and go out to sleep around or about with other women. You will not take advantage. As a man, you will not take advantage of women who you are not married to. You will not also take advantage of even the one you are married to, because it is imperative to God that we treat one another with dignity, with respect, and not take advantage of each other. So that is my opinion and what I derive from this reading. Please leave your opinion at the comment section. God bless you as you do so. share, like, and subscribe if you have not done so yet. Bye bye.